And as a soldier, what do you think your job is as a soldier? Like just not just not just like a roamer, not just like a pocket. Like in general, what is your job as a soldier? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us here are soldier players. Yeah, Koa is like the best answer so far, and Big J. Like those answers are good. Your job as a soldier is to create space. You bombing draws attention away from your team, and your bombs create space because you are drawing their attention away. So a good thing to know is when your soldiers are bombing, especially like communication is important. So when you are bombing as a soldier, you need to tell simple stuff like I am bombing. I am bombing in 3. Available in 2. I can bomb in 2. Simple things like that. When you listen to that, that is the sign where you guys as a team should take space, which is your combo. So your soldiers can either commit to them or they can just spam and just bomb and do fades. A fade, if you don't know, is a bomb that you were about to commit, but you turn away at the very last second, or at least at some point because you notice I cannot take that fight. So you just basically air strafe away. Or you can also do it intentionally to draw attention for your other soldier or for your team. So sometimes a fade is just good because you're again drawing attention from their team, so they have to respect you, especially the scouts, because the scouts are the best person equipped to kill you, and their job is to take care of you. So drawing their attention away provides so much space for your other soldier as well. For the demo's job, demo spams height and is your main damage dealer. He locks out chokes, and with him not being in a mid fight, everything just crumbles because nobody can lock out certain areas. So let's say this area, this blue crate that I'm pointing. If the demo is dead, nobody can contest this area because the demo is no longer alive. His stickies are nowhere to be seen because he's dead. So without him, he's like your crowd control. Your medic, this is for your medic. You heal, the heal priority in mids is your combo all the time. For your soldiers, as a medic player, you need to tell your team. This is very important. So this is not only a message to the medic, but for soldiers. Yeah. So, as a medic, if you notice that your soldier is low, just arrow them, or, which is also equally as important, is tell them to take a pack. Tell them to take a health pack. Reason why. If you ask a arrow in the middle of a fight, you are sacrificing heals from your combo because you're focused on your flanks, which you should not be doing unless you are able to do so, or if it's the right decision, if you have the time. The only time you really do arrow is when you're not getting bombed and you know you're gonna be safe and you're not prioritizing your combo in that specific moment, which takes experience. So as a medic, you want to really just prioritize healing your scout, your pocket scout, and then your demo. It's okay to just bait your soldier to say, I can't arrow you, or tell them, please just take a pack. Because if you ask an arrow, it can literally mess up the whole healing order and literally like make you guys lose. It is that crucial. Like every small thing matters. So one little ask for arrow from a soldier can literally mess up everything. So that's for medic. For scouts, you guys are not really gonna be doing any super big damage, but you guys are responsible for cleaning up. I don't know. Sadly, I don't think the scouts are here. I think they're not here. Is Yoru a scout, or is he like a?
Yeah, he's our
Is it-
pocket scout and
Yeah, he's
our
our P
main
scout.
core.
He's
Yeah.
our P scout.
Yeah, and he's our main core.
Yoru,
So.
Yoru understands, so I don't really need to tell Yoru that. But as a team, you should just know that your scout is not there to frag out all the time. He's there to deny and protect you guys. The combo specifically, the pocket scout. Your roamer and your flank scout should cooperate with each other. That is same for the soldier. The guys that need to be talking with each other 24/7 is gonna be your soldiers and your flanks. And obviously, your pocket scout, because tendency wise, pocket scouts are gonna be usually the main caller. So you guys need to talk all the time on getting information. I will head into that like in a bit. So that is the very basic on what each class does. So a summary is soldier takes space, creates space, and draws attention. And follow-ups on damage. Demoman acts as your main damage dealer. And your guys' crowd control. If he dies, everything falls apart. It's the same with the medic. If the medic dies, there's no more healing to go around. And you guys are a lot more squishy. For scouts, if your scout is dead, it's gonna be a lot harder to deny the soldiers, because that is their, ultimately their jobs in mids. So let's try to play this mid and tell what is happening. So as we can see here now, both teams roll out. Their combo rollouts lower. As you guys are rolling out, by the way, I forgot to mention this. When you guys are rolling out, you need to be already communicating a strategy. You guys need to make a decision already while you guys are rolling out. What to do on the mid. If you guys want to go left, you guys go left. If you guys want to go right, you guys go right. If you guys want to go across, you guys go across. If you want to meet them head on, you meet them head on. So make a decision as a team, even if it's right or wrong. You need to stick to that decision, because you don't want to snowball it. Like one guy doesn't listen and then it slowly crumbles. You want to make that decision together, regardless if that decision was right or wrong. But the guy that usually calls which side to go is going to be your demo man, because he's the fastest player. So let's try to play this mid. So our soldier, to give context, I communicated with my fellow soldier here, which is Astrum. I told Astrum told me I'm gonna do an early bomb on the med because we heard that our demo dealt around, let's see, never mind. Our demo dealt like around 50 to 70 damage on their demo. So we're now doing a follow-up. So that's why it's also important to act fast on damage, especially on like the first like few seconds. So you have a decision as a roamer. You either, let's say your demo you tags the demo, you have to make that decision fast. Either you commit for that kill, which you will most likely die after, or you just make the demo weak and then he is unable to fight for a few seconds. You have to make that decision fast. And I'm pretty sure we picked the option to try to go for the demo, but Ashim cannot commit to that fight yet. So we're just playing off spam. So soldier bombs, again, from my demo earlier, I heard that their demo is weak, as you can see from the health. I follow up on that damage call. I get one pick. And then luckily, I got a lucky shot on that scout. He took 100. So now this mid is really good for us. No more demo, and one less scout to worry about. Now we just have to worry about this guy, but unfortunately, he lands on top of our medic, so the medic couldn't really spot him. So that's how quickly, like, the tides can turn around. Like, you were winning, like, earlier, and then it just falls apart because one guy got through. So what we're doing here now is we're playing to leave. Why do you think we're playing to leave? No heals, obviously, but there's a bigger reason why. A big, obvious reason why. And what do you think that is? Close. Their team has Uber. You are now at full disadvantage. Their medic survived, yours died. So we just want to get this cap if we are able to, which we are able to because we wiped a lot of their team. So what we want to do is your soldiers are tasked with a decision. They either play to leave or go for a force or a drop. So I think guessing from our body language, we're trying to take space as much as we can. So what we're actually doing here, okay, that's actually huge. You know, somehow Astrim just diffs him. You really don't expect that. That's kind of crazy. So their med died, but the reason why we walked forwards instead of back in this situation, this is a lot more advanced, is because we're trying to delay them. We're trying to cap the point so that they have to cap this point and then cap this midpoint. So it slows them down, which allows us to build Uber. You get that? So it's a little more advanced. That is the logic behind this decision. Because logically speaking, you wouldn't think this is really smart. Because you're heading into an Uber. Like, that's crazy, bro. But the reason why we walked forwards also to justify this decision is they were down 4 players. And we're up quite a bit of players. So that allows us to be more confident. Because one Uber, this is just one guy, basically speaking. And your soldiers can juggle that guy, but that is if your soldier can do that. But most of the time, your soldier should be able to do that. But that is the reason why we made the decision. Luckily, Astrim makes it alive as well. So he got the drop and managed to kill the medic. So that's also a very thing that is very underrated as a flank player. Just because you're a flank player and you go for plays does not necessarily mean you have to die every time. If you got a successful pick, let's say a demo or a medic, as much as you can, try to survive. Because you being alive is making things better for your team. Because you're drawing their attention away. You're wasting their resources on you. It is just that simple. The reason why you want to stay alive is because you want to be as annoying as much as possible. So again, drawing attention as a soldier. So aside from dealing damage, making plays, you're drawing attention. So now as a soldier, what I'm doing here... Oops, I need to play the demo. What I'm actually doing is, we have full ad here. So we're just trying to grind Uber, we're taking things slow, and our soldiers need to be spotting lobby. So that's why you saw me earlier already getting in through lobby and spotting for information on where that sentry could be. So as time goes on, you eventually get a feel for the game on what they do on last holds. Because in this situation, it's going to be most likely a sentry or a sniper. Reason for the sniper is because they're trying to go for that Hail Mary shot. So basically no hope. They're trying to go for that headshot on the medic to make things even. And the point of the sentry is not to get kills, but to slow down that Ubering. Very important. So what I'm doing is I'm not... Also, again, for here, when you see in this Uber, it's only the demo and the scout. As flanks, as soldiers and the flank scout, so even as pocket, even as... Yeah, even as pocket soldier, because usually the name pocket soldier, you think you're sticking to the team all the time, which not really true. Well, yes, you're gonna be with them mostly, but you're gonna be acting also like a second roamer. But in these situations, when your team is Ubering, by the way, if you're a soldier or a flank scout, you know, a roamer, pocket soldier, or flank scout, you should not be in that Uber. The only people that should be in that Uber is gonna be your pocket scout and your demo. You guys are in charge of the post Uber, which you guys are most effective at. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you go in post Uber instead of with the Uber? Why do you think? Anyone answer? Like, why do you think you should not go with the Uber? That is correct, you know. You wanna maximize your Uber as much as you can. With you being there in that Uber, you are wasting the Uber. You're making the Uber shorter than it is. There's already 2 people involved in that Uber. By you being there, let's say you were a roamer soldier or a flank scout, and you just so happen to be in that Uber, and then you eat a shit ton of damage as well. Your medic is quite literally forced to flash you. Yes. So swapping, you know, Uber to player will decrease the Uber charge. So that's why when you see medics, when they Uber, they avoid flashing too many times, because you want to maximize that length. So you being there makes that Uber shorter and less effective than it should be. The time that you are most effective as a flank player, which are the soldiers and the flank scout, is when the Uber is gone. When that Uber has done its value. Because you guys are invincible. Remember, if you're the combo there, you guys are invincible and you're dealing damage to that team. So now the enemy team is now softened up. That is the perfect time for you to get in there and capitalize on that damage that your combo has provided for you. That is how you get kills. You don't get kills by 1v1ing people. You rely them on your team. That's ultimately how we got the advantage on this fight. But I don't think we won this last one. I don't remember. But we should. Okay, we did. So again, when we saw the soldiers earlier, the soldiers came post-Uber. It was just the demo and the scout. So let's go to a soldier POV actually. Try to go for a soldier. This is the pocket rollout. I don't really advise that rollout. That is quite the tricky rollout because you kind of have to speed shot. You don't want to do that. But it's a pretty good rollout if you can get it consistently. So here, we're changing up our mids. I lied. We did not. So what I'm trying to do here is when your last mid, a good like guide is when your last mid worked, try to do it again. You know, try to do it until you notice, okay, they're not falling they're not falling for the same tricks. You gotta change it up. So we see again, our demo deals like a lot of damage on their team, which is really good. That is a perfect time for us to follow up as well. So again, we're trying to go for that combo. So that's huge value. I got the soldier, I got the scout. Now for demo. Now I think this is where I made a mistake. We already won that mid. So an important lesson here is we already won. You need to preserve that advantage. If I didn't die here, they would have been pushed back to second and we would have just kept mid. But now that I died, that presents them to fight back and go back in there. Which our demo cannot handle alone, and then their spawners are spawning. So they basically, even though we won the mid, we lost it because of that mistake. Because the reason why my thought process on that was like, I wanted to go for the demo because I knew the demo was weak. But by the time that I realized, oh shit, we are actually on even numbers. We already won the mid. It was already too late for me. And I was dead. So the key takeaway there is preserving your advantage. You guys already won. Now keep it that way. And no, like, lose it. So we're just trying to stay second. We're going for evens. Now, it is their sacrifice. Why do you think it's their sacrifice and not ours? Why is it their sack and not our sack? Even though it's even Ubers. If you're new to sixes, you might not understand this yet. Like, why? Like, who sacks? Is it us or is it them?
I would say them.
Why do you think it's them?
Because they're waiting for group us. So because they want to force the medic. If they're gonna Uber in, they're gonna try to get the medic if they can. Like you have 4 guys on the front and 2 guys on the flank. They're gonna keep looking on the front while the other 2 guys like try to flank if they can. Either it's like two soldiers or 1 soldier and 1 scout try to flank. Either underneath the main or on the other side of the valley.
Okay. Your answer is there. But it's actually super simple. But your answer is like mostly right. Reason why? Like how to know if it's your sack or theirs? They won the mid. They are the ones that are aggressing. Which means they will be the ones sacking. Because they want to take your second point. They're the ones winning. They're not the ones defending. We're the ones defending. So we are anticipating that sack. So to know who is going to sack is who is winning at the current moment, which is their team. So we're just waiting for them. Again, we're gathering buffs, getting buffs as soldier. So a good default on Metalworks is usually here for pocket soldier. You stand here. Combo either stands from lobby or here if it's even Ubers. And then flanks watch this area, roamer and flank scout. Reason why you hold this area as a pocket soldier is because you can watch from house, you can spam from this, and you can watch people that leak from lower, which is underpass. So let's put this in normal speed. So we're just waiting for their sack basically, which it is taking quite a while, not gonna lie. So here, I'm communicating to my team. So this is me. It is very important as a soldier. Asking where they are. Because let's say, because your job is to spot, that is your job. Your job is to spot, but there are just sometimes you cannot spot. And you don't want to lose the element of surprise when you're trying to do something. Because even though, yes, it is their sack, Do you think they'll expect me, the team that is defending, sacking them? And especially at a specific timing, which will be shown in a bit. So I'm asking from my flank scout because I hear like firing from alley. So I see my scout shooting shit from alley. So from that information alone, I know that there are people there. I'm asking, where is their combo? Or do you guys see beam anywhere? So if I go to my POV, my scout says, yes, they are in alley right now. All of them actually. I actually use this window over here. You can actually see through this window. So if I let go on space, if I unpause this, you can actually see through here. So now, this little window right here can see through this area. This little like area over there that I don't have a cursor. I don't know like a crosshair for some reason in demos, but they won't really expect this shit. Because why would you? Why would you? Like, literally, why would you? So now they're all here. From that information alone, I follow up on that, and we get one good rocket on the med, one rocket, and the medic drops. So now, you're basically dead there. So kind of no hope. But now we want to preserve our ad. Our team is already acting ASAP. So our team is already finding the route to pinch them, thinking one step ahead. So they're trying to cut off their exit. So we get one demo man. One guy's still behind, but still alive somehow. So we win here, so we get the forward spawn. Luckily Astrum kills him. So now we're trying to take space as much as we can. They're down one scout, and they're down a medic. So even more of a benefit. So now we go all into last. So we just get buffs here. We can actually dry this, by the way. Dry pushing. Dry pushing is when you, if you don't know, dry pushing is when you push without Uber. So you're just pushing off like numbers advantage. So they were down 2 players, and especially very important ones like medic and a scout. So they have no heals. So we can just afford to just slowly walk in there, even without Uber. So we go back to, let's say, combo POV. So we're just trying to dry, spotting for information, trying to spam them out. So we're just taking things slow because we have the advantage. We don't need to feed. Our scout baits point. They don't bother. Okay, that is the biggest mistake they could have done. If you're holding last, this is crazy. If you're holding last, if you are their team in this situation, you're the ones doing the last hold. Your soldiers need to bomb the point. Your soldiers just need to bomb the point. There needs to be sticks on the point, firstly. Sticks, obviously, already on the point because you guys have no Uber. They're basically just gonna go for the point. And the soldiers need to deny that scout from capping, which Stargazer just caps for free. So avoid that mistake. Bomb the point as soldier when there's someone trying to bait the cap or trying to actually literally just cap it. So we get an easy win from that because you shouldn't really do that. So I think this is the mid where we tried to change things up because I said to my team, okay, I have a feeling they'll start to recognize, and noticing their patterns so far, I feel like they'll change to a different like spot to leave or to enter, not to leave. So from the past mid so far, they went from lower. So I say to my team, guys, they might go house instead, which is like the like big door that is gonna be in front of you guys. So my assumption was correct that they changed where they're gonna go out of, which they went to house. So that is also part. As a team, you need to be able to recognize patterns and recognize that eventually things will not work all the time. So even though they haven't, we don't know that they're gonna adapt. We're already like preparing in our brain they're going to adapt. So we need to change things up ASAP, and we need to expect that and not be reactive. You're being proactive. You need to be ready. So from that spam alone, I actually got the demo. That's a very good pick for us. And we get one more soldier. So one scout just alone here. Yeah, sometimes you don't. Again, in these like fights and 1v1s, sometimes you don't need to just like go in for the kill all the time. Sometimes it's okay to let go. It's just okay. You don't need to feed your ego and try to kill the people all the time. So we're just trying to get the second point for free. Soldier flanks. You need to expect these plays as well, is because they're trying to go for a Hail Mary play. They're trying to go for that Hail Mary play. So you need to be expecting these plays as well. Especially in these divisions, they're gonna be pretty dumb. What I mean by that is like these are gonna be like the most like crazy like bombs ever. What I mean by that is like, why would you bomb at that moment? That is what I mean. I'm not telling like it's bad. Like you just wouldn't expect it. So you gotta expect it in advance. So the dumbest thing that you can think in your brain right now, you're gonna be like, okay, they're probably gonna do that. Not gonna lie. Especially in like these divisions, like Div 4 to high Div 3 and Div 5. I mean not Div 5. The fuck? Whoa, we're regressing, guys. Like mid Div 3. It's gonna be somewhere there. Low to mid Div 3. You're gonna see some of those dumb plays. So here, this is a trade. What is the point of a trade? Can anybody answer? Aside from Big J. But Big J can also answer. I'm also curious if Big J can answer this. What is the point of a trade? What is an Uber trade, actually? What is an Uber trade? What is an Uber trade and what is the purpose of an Uber trade?
I think they want to trade Uber to just trade kills, because if like the mates like focus on one person only, or may try to have multiple persons, they can try to pick other persons that they didn't Uber. For example, like the mates like Uber on the demo on the scout, but he noticed that they didn't like Uber on the demo, so they can try to pick on a demo if they can, or try to pick other people that is group up with them. Soldier can like try to go in if they like fully group up, but he doesn't Uber, so like he can try to get one of them, and then like leave, and then he can try to leave, or just like bomb them. One of them is like doesn't have Uber yet by the medic.
Okay. So I kind of roughly get what you're saying, but not super. But trades are kind of complicated, but I will try to make them as simple as much as possible. Wait, let me see what Big J said. Honestly, Big J, you're kind of there. You're low-key kind of there. Honestly, I accept that answer. There are two. That is the answer for the red team. That is what Big J just said. That is the reason why red team is doing this. But an Uber trade, like we're not talking about like blue team here or red team, but an Uber trade is just obviously both teams use Uber, but they're using Uber to like help their like disadvantage at that current moment. Either to counter their disadvantage in that moment or to preserve their advantage. So that is the two options for the Uber trade. It is to not like just fall apart, and the second is preserving the advantage that you have. So in this moment, yes, I will get into that, Big J. So I will tell now the reason for this Uber trade. So the reason why red team Ubered here is because they don't want this Uber to happen on last. Because they have 1 point remaining. Blue team has capped their second point. They don't want a potential fight on last, which they could potentially lose. They're also down a player. So again, with that disadvantage, they already lost the point, plus they lost the soldier. So with this trade, they're trying to stall for that guy to spawn. So this Uber is also allowing your teammates to spawn. So the point of this Uber is to stall for time. The reason why blue popped here is obviously because they got forced. But second is also they want to preserve the second point. They don't want red team to cap the second point because we want to go to last. So let's continue this actually. Somebody tries to go for a back cap. It was me, but their med dies. Oh, it's smooth sailing for us. This is a guaranteed win at this point. No medic, 2 scouts gone. We're healthy. It's basically Jover. So here, we're just trying to take our time. But yeah, it's kind of Jover. You can't really do much there. So that trade was not, not very successful for them. Yeah. The point again for Uber trades is either to, not lose your advantage or to try to stall time. That is the point. In very simple terms of the purpose of a trade. It is to stall time or to preserve an advantage that you guys have. So scout POV. The scouts here are just taking height and denying for soldiers. Our demo dies. So as a soldier here, you need to immediately try, like anybody in your team. This guy needs to die ASAP. This soldier right here, he needs to die. He doesn't die. That is so bad. But luckily, we get a counter pick. I got Meritos. Crazy. Again. But the idea here is on mids. Let's say you guys lose a player. You need to get that trade ASAP. You guys need to even that playing field ASAP. Because you will eventually lose on positioning. Because they have one more player over you. Simple math. 6 will win against 5. Unless your team, even if you guys are 5v6, but your team has superior positioning, you guys can afford to stay a little longer because of your positioning. If you have better positioning, they just can't move anywhere. And they have to leave even though they have 6 players. And you guys have 1 less. So it all comes down to positioning as well. So aside from, having more numbers, your positioning dictates whether you can get in. So when you see here, when I got the med pick, I try to get away. So even though I died in that, even though I died here, it's what I tried to do what matters. So I lived a little longer, so that actually just, he wasted time on trying to kill me. which just allowed my team to take space and everybody just cleaned up everybody. So now we can start taking second actually. So we're trying to go as fast as we can. As fast as we can to second. Because we know that they're not going to be contesting second because obviously their medic died. Plus they have spawners. So this should be a free mid. This should be a free win. Because this is the only thing that you guys will really lose on last, especially like on full disads. The only reason why you guys will really lose is you guys didn't focus targets. Like you guys didn't do any focus fires, did not call any damage, no communication whatsoever. You guys are fighting different fights, or the Uber just lasts way too short. But even then, you guys should be killing people. Like the people that are the right people to kill in that moment, which are gonna be usually the people that are the most isolated, but the people that you want to really kill in last are the soldiers and the demo, the soldier and the demo. If they have an off class, which is usually engineer, heavy, sniper. Sniper, you can't really do much about him. Sniper's quite far. He's usually gonna be playing near spawn, so you can't really get to him unless you wanna, sack for him. But we have we have the advantage here, so there's no point for that. You're just feeding for nothing because why are you feeding when you already have Uber? Like, bro. And then for heavy, you want to kill the heavy ASAP. Heavy is a monster at last if he doesn't die. He's a monster at post Uber. He's not really anything useful in Ubers. Like he's just a literal sentry. But not he doesn't have perfect aim. So heavy is not really effective in like the Ubers are currently happening. But after the Uber, post Ubers, that is where heavy shines the most. So heavy needs to die ASAP. Reason why demo needs to die is because he traps the point. And he also deals damage. A lot of splash damage. So with him dead, your scouts can cap for free. But again with the soldier, same with the down man. Less splash damage to worry about, less damage to worry about. The scouts are like least of your priority unless they are the guys that are isolated and the easiest to kill in that moment. So it really just depends. Even though the higher value targets are gonna be those people like the medic, the demo, obviously, but most of the time you're trying to kill the people that are most isolated, that are alone. So yeah, this should be unlosable. Surely, nothing happens. So we start already getting in. We're gonna be expecting here another Senshi. So they lose one player, so we can actually just start walking now. So my job is to just take space for my team. Pre-fire corners. Now I hear my team has Ubered in. So what I do is I just wait for that post Uber. This guy's isolated. I call out to my team, yo, this guy's alone. That guy is gonna die. So I'm now ready for the post. And yeah. Again, focus on the people that are isolated. And you guys just win games like that. And it's just virtually unlosable in that situation. Unless you really, really, really mess up real bad. Which I've seen quite a lot. Like, it's kind of crazy. I've experienced it and seen it a lot. So you guys really just gotta do damage calls and focus fires. Very important. Again with here, we're trying to bomb. Our soldiers behind. We get 2 picks. They're getting stuffed here actually, so we can actually go behind them now, which Astrum does. That's really good. Yeah. We're gonna start walking. We need to feed. Start taking space. So red team actually here can try to trade. They can actually try to trade. So they're trying to get that Uber fast as possible. So they're trying to go, but it's too late. It's too late. Because we already almost capped the point. They were trying to grind that Uber, as you can see. They were like 90. You really don't usually grind Uber at 90%, but they're trying to get that Uber as soon as they can so they can stop the second point. Because they don't want to fight us on last. For obvious reasons. Again, with the Uber trade that I told earlier. They're at a disadvantage and they don't want to make that thing worsen. But they were too late to make a decision. They were too undecisive. So again, my job as a soldier, I just go for information, but I didn't spot this trap over here. So, very important. As any class, spot for traps. Check for everything. Every blind corner that you cannot see is a trap. So this is looking like a trade for us. Now we're the ones at a disadvantage. They're the ones with an advantage. We're down 2 players. But we can delay a little more because we got spawners. They actually didn't do anything. They got 2 picks, but they didn't try to walk. Yeah, they have essential nest egg. They're just trying to play evens. So this is gonna be a sack for us. So what we want to do here is, if you want to sack on last, you want to get that sentry ASAP. So cooperate with your demo man and your soldier. Specifically your other soldier. You need to be communicating with them. So communicate with your soldier. Yo, can you spot where it is or something? And then we can call a timing on when to shoot. So our rockets fire at the same time, so it deals the most amount of damage. Again, we're just playing evens here. Make this a little faster. Again, same thing. Just spamming the gun. We need to spam this gun. We need to locate the gun first, obviously. We need to locate the gun first. So I hear that the sentry is actually from lower. Because I hear a beep, 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 beep. So listening to audio cues, very important. Because I didn't notice, because I can hear the sentry, but I just don't see it. So most likely it's either tucked in a corner or it's under this thing. Yeah, that panic. It's very audible. It's very distinctive. You can pretty much tell. So Astrim tries to go for the sack, but it kind of fucks up. So we try to go for double, but it doesn't really work out. So this is gonna be looking like a trade for us. So we want to stay second here. So they're trying to dry push now. The enemy team, our medic gets force. They have not used Uber yet, so this is looking really bad for us. So we need to leave ASAP. So our soldiers, their job here is to try to get a force, which Astrim tries to do. They get a force. Astrim gets the force. Now we gotta kite this Uber. Either that, you can go behind. We can literally go behind here. Honestly, we could have ignored these guys and just went behind. But I hear the sentry, so I can't really do much. So we're just waiting for spam. Honestly, we're not being fast. We're just taking our time because we also lost a lot of players. So everything just kind of falls apart. I should have go for a Hail Mary on the point, and it doesn't really work out. Their spawners spawned in time, so we're a little too late on that. Because Dapper, I think, somehow died, which I don't know how. Yeah, they have 30 add on us, so we're playing to leave this mid. So what we're trying to do as soldiers is, again, just spot where they could possibly come from. And potentially get a force. Again, just Hockey, just watching alley, checking for flanks. Astrim spotting for house. Actually don't know where I am. Okay, I just spawned. I'm asking for my team here if they go Valley, because I want to do the fast rollout. I try to go, but luckily their medic feared, so he popped. That's huge value for us. You know,
Từ 8
sometimes
phút
you really
chơi
don't have
cam
to
áo
do
rồi.
much damage. You just have to
Hero
instill
băng cam
fear
áo rồi.
because they don't want to get gardened. Again here, we shouldn't lose this whatsoever. We should win this fight. Because we have that Uber. So we use now. So we gotta start getting kills.
Ai
We get
thấy
one. So just
16
one
thương của
soldier
bạn
in
không?
like lower left. We gotta keep an eye out for him. He gets out. But now they have the ad because we didn't get the medic.
Ai
So
lấy
we're
16
actually...
vui con bạn đổi 6 đồng
We
VIP
can
không?
try this. Reason why, even though, you know, before they lost 3 people, you know, before they lost 3 people, the reason why we also wanted to push this is because we have a lot of cap time on that point, and they don't have Uber yet. They just don't have Uber yet. We know they have ad, but they don't have Uber yet, so we can afford to fight. And luckily, Hockey, our flank scout, managed to get a pick, and then our other soldier also gets a pick. So huge. So we can now actually afford to dry push second point here. So this is our SAS. We're trying to grind here, but problem is their spawner spawned in time. They have Uber. They use, but it's pretty bad. They didn't, oh, okay, never mind. They got the demo. Somehow. Yeah, that's kind of on Dapper. And people just getting caught. Okay, that Uber worked out a lot better than I thought. That shouldn't really be possible. So we're just holding last here. But we have Uber. We're about to have Uber. So we want to slow them down. So they're gonna start drying.
Bạn là
Our medic is
ai
just focused on
vui.
grinding that Uber. We want to walk in there. Our medic gets the Uber.
Bài báo nhau à?
We
Sao
just
vậy
try to get
hả?
in. So watching out for this potential back
Phải
cap.
lồn chơi chơi kẹp bù.
And it's just one guy. So we have ad. One guy tries to rat. There's Wongus. I actually don't know why he tried to do that. I think maybe he was trying to go for a back cap, but it just doesn't make any sense. Again, clearing traps. You see that I'm not like rocket jumping all the time. You know, taking my time. Same with like Astrum. You know, you don't really, just because you can doesn't mean you should always rocket jump. So just be patient, and before you enter chokes, you know, splash certain areas for traps. So I'm just taking my time. We use Uber because we have that ad. So we're trying to get the med here, or just trying to get a demo because you can't really get the med because they're too far away. Now we're full dis. So they're most likely... okay, never mind. They're actually just gonna stay second because they want to preserve that ad. They don't want to get forced. So Astrum tried to go for a force, but it doesn't really work out because they're quite far. We're trying to push out, so they kind of have to give this up, which is not really ideal. Now they have spawners. Now they can try to fight this. And now they Uber. And see if they got value. Okay, just kind of get diffs. He just kind of got trapped. His medic kind of left him. Wongus kind of got baited. I think mostly because he got blocked. Yeah. Either he got baited or he just got like body blocked by a person, which happens. That's a thing. Getting body blocked in the middle of a Uber. So they're trying to dry this even though they're down one player. But Wongus is just trying to ego fight. because mechanically he is better. Mechanically, yes, but he's just one guy.
Bô lao.
One guy can't really do much in that situation. So this is gonna be a free last push. You know, down every single player. It's just a demo and a soldier, no heals. Like, what can they do? Plus, you have Uber. So the demo's job is literally just to stick where they're gonna go, where they're gonna go out of. That's just what the demo's gonna do. Yeah, that is normal sixes. Now, my advice for your guys' composition. Okay, before we go for your composition, any questions on maybe like what to do in certain situations, or maybe you didn't understand one certain like a certain thing that I said? So feel free to ask, because maybe you did understand, but you wanted to ask on like what to do at in this current situation. I could answer that. So you can either just type it or speak it in VC. Nothing?
Well, I do, but I don't know. Is it okay to ask though?
Yes, it is very much okay to ask. You should ask.
Hello.
Um, Mostly I try to like thinking of what questions that to ask, but it's mostly about medic's position because as a medic, newcomer medic, I sometimes like go for heals and arrows too much often because sometimes my teammates like they want to get an arrow a lot and
Okay.
I don't like tell them like to go get some health packs, all that stuff.
You don't know when to do that? When to tell them that?
No, I
Is
don't.
that what you're?
Yeah.
So that's your question.
Yes.
So when to know? When to tell your team, go get a pack. Okay. Oh, my thing is unbinded. Okay, it's fine. So when to go for arrows and rental to tell them, yo, get a pack. First is simple. If they're in the vicinity of a pack, take a pack. If the pack is literally just like right, let's say you're in the mid, like in the fight, right? You're healing your players, healing your combo right here. I'm healing, and then your soldier like in that like corner, over there. He asks, "Yo, can I get an arrow?" And especially if he's like around 100 HP, like just tell bro. And especially if you're busy, that's also again, if you're too busy, like you just can't afford. Like you can just like assess yourself right now. Like, can I even afford to arrow him right now? Like, can you like should I give up my beam for this? Like, bro, I'm like kind of fighting somebody right now. So like if he has like 140 HP plus he's asking for arrow and you're in the middle of a fight, you're currently healing your players because they're finding something. And the soldier in question is like 100 HP. Like, bro, just literally just do this. Look how simple a soldier can take a health pack. Look how fast you can do it. Okay, never mind. I'll just keep this health so we can see it a lot more visually. Look at this. Let's say I'm the soldier, 84 HP. I can rocket jump with this. Boom. Pack taken. I'm 132. Instead of asking for another arrow, boom. Oh, medic. I'm quite weak. I'm 180 HP. You should not be asking an arrow for 180 HP, you little bro. Or asking for beam, especially beam. Do not ask for beam. Like especially if you're like roamer or flank. Like flank scout is like a little like fine. Like flank scout can like is fine to beam. But if you're asking beam as a soldier, like you're basically begging for a beam. Holy bro, get away. Just ask for an arrow. Like, just learn the map. You need to traverse. Wait one sec. Bruh. I need to bind these. I'll bind them later. But it is incredibly easy for your soldier to literally just go for a pack. Let's say the soldier was instead maybe here. Maybe you were like right here. You're trying to pressure with your combo. Let's say I'm the medic. I'm beaming my teammates. My teammates are jumping around. My scout, my demo is trying to pressure that. And I'm currently busy. Again, you are busy. And your teammate, which is currently at the back, by the way, doing nothing, ask for an arrow. Like, bro, just take a pack. Like, just do 1-2 rockets and you're already there. If you're low here, boom, just take a pack. So, to know when to give them arrows or not is when they are currently not the priority. Your combo is the priority. It is okay to bait them. It is okay to say, I don't want to, or take a pack. But when to do those moments is when you're busy healing your combo. They're busy doing something, which you should not arrow them, which can lead to you guys losing the fight, like the mid fight, because you did that small act. Even though it seemed like it was harmless, it actually messes up the order because now you let off heals from your scout. Let's say your scout ate 100 damage meat shot, or some soldier just is like perfect and he hit the direct hit. He just hit the scout for 80, and the scout that you were currently healing was actually around 165 HP. So he's now down to maybe around 98 now. The other scouts can just literally clean him up. And because you chose to arrow that guy that was inactive, by the way, he's now out of the fight. He cannot fight. You caused your main player that is protecting you to kill themselves. So, again, your priority is your combo. So, your flanks can just take pack. Just tell them to take pack. But there are times like it's super super easy to arrow them, especially when you have the time, because I also noticed from medics like they take that too much to gospel. Like they take that way too literally. I'm never gonna arrow you. Just take pack every time. There are times you can just arrow them. If you have the free time, you see that okay, I can actually afford. You are asking yourself, by the way, this is a question you should ask yourself. I'm kind of free right now. I actually can afford to arrow you. So you arrow them. You're answering your own questions. You are referring to yourself, so you just gotta assess. Yes. What is your question? Wait, you kinda disappeared. Not gonna lie.
Sorry.
You were saying. I did. You kinda cut off.
I was like thinking of situations like everyone was like so low. The time to time when we like thinking and pushing, but most of the times, almost every single my team are like low, both our flanks and pockets, including our demo as well.
Okay. Reason why. If the situation is like that, you leave. That is not your fault. That is theirs. If your entire team is weak, that's also like that's everybody's fault. Either you were not healing them enough. Firstly, you're not rotating the beam like effectively and arrowing at like the right moments, which I just said. Like that's like your rough guide on when to do arrows. And if you notice your entire team is low, they just cannot fight, you leave. You tell your team, guys, we are low. I cannot heal all of you at the same time. Get out. You have the power to do so. You dictate the heals. So you tell your team, guys, we cannot fight this. We are too weak. You inform that to your team, and your team will respect
Má
that.
cầm 3Z mà
Your
đậu
team will
mà
say,
không cầm
okay,
3Z chứ đâu cầm TFP đâu mà mấy em trong dí dữ
we'll
gì.
get out. Because if you guys stay any longer, you guys will get
Dí
wiped.
chạy đéo nổi luôn.
That's how 6 players die in mid. Because they failed to leave early. It's recognizing again, from the notes that I sent you guys, is recognize when you're losing early. If you notice that you guys are already losing this, so there's no point to, fight any longer. Because, like, you're already losing, so just don't lose more players and just leave early.
Bác sĩ.
So as a medic, if you notice everybody's low, you just say, guys, I can't. You guys are too weak. We should get out.
Quả cái
We should leave. Okay. Is that everything?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, just actually, this is just for tips for your comp. I can't really comment on your guys' comp because, you really don't see it. But I will tell this honestly about your composition. Your composition is, like, fundamentally just weaker compared to the normal 6's classes. Like, an off-class team will be weaker.
Especially
100%.
especially me, because I don't like listen to comms that much. Well, more like I don't comms that much because I let my teammates comm more because they have like more experience than I do.
That's fine at the beginning. But you guys do all your part, but what matters is you guys are calming what is important. The medic, your job as a medic, you're calling heals. You're calling, okay, I'm giving you guys buffs here. Let's take buffs first, guys. Okay, reset, guys, reset. Let's take buffs first. Like, you guys are low. Things like that. Guys, I have Uber. Guys, they're at 30% Uber. You're calling for disads and evens and Ubers. You're telling that to your team. That is your job. Scouts, your job is to call out where the soldier is. So the soldier is at left side. Soldier as in like near right ramp. Soldier's main. And like the pocket scout is like usually gonna be your main caller. It tells you guys what to do. So you just follow that decision. Again, even if it's wrong, you guys gotta follow what was in that moment. Because you don't want to snowball it and lose it like very slowly. You want to make that decision fast. Because that also helps you with synergy with your team. Because you're able to make decisions fast, which in the long run will help you. Because being passive all the time will not teach you guys anything. You guys need to experiment. Your roster is the embodiment of an experiment. So take that literally. So make mistakes as much as you can, especially at like this level. See what works and what does not, because your composition is not very popular and quite easy to counter if done right. So the job of your demo, I think your demo kind of gets the job already. Your demo acts as a pick class because your demo is not dealing any damage. Your demo is there kind of like your scouts and your soldiers. He's there to just do any follow-up kills, or actually trying to get a kill, because he can do that. 195 is pretty big. But Demo Knight, I would say, is also pretty good at cleaning up people that are low, so you can catch them off guard. For your soldiers, since you guys have no demo man, your soldiers gotta lock in. Your soldiers need to work overtime. Your soldiers are gonna be acting as your main damage dealers. So your team composition, from what we've said so far, will not really work for you guys. The reason why I told you this, like why I explained the sixes thing, is because obviously just to know how to play sixes. And then second is how to
Thì
know what the
ông
enemy is doing.
lên được level 9. Ông lên
Because you
level
guys are
9
not
mà
playing the
ông
standard
không biết
cookie classes. You're not playing, the normal
hero
demo.
là trong vòng 5 giây đã chọn ngẫu
But
nhiên.
now that you
Ngẫu
know
nhiên là
what
những cái con nào mà ông bắt ông
each
chơi nhiều
class
nhất.
does, you can formulate a plan, do things, and just learn the basics first. So your soldiers, again, your composition is mostly gonna be like you guys are like blobbed together. Blobbed like together in a good way. Like not too close to each other, but
Bẫy
very much like within vicinity with each other.
bẫy ôi.
Because far away, you guys are already basically, like, let's be honest here, you guys are basically already down one player. You guys are playing a demo knight. Your demo knight can't do much at the very start. Like, he just can't do much. Like, nobody's gonna contest height except the soldiers. And the scouts can easily counter that. But luckily for you, in your division, you don't get really heavily punished for that yet. But you should expect that starting now. The classes that will counter you the hardest are gonna be those scouts. Especially on mids. Like the scouts you will just notice that the scouts just get free reign on height. Because again, you have no demo. There's just no demo.
Bẫy lồn
There's no
chặn hết
stickies to
luôn.
contest the scouts. So your only option is, that's why again, as soldiers, you gotta lock in on your rollouts, guys. Like your rollout is the thing you guys gotta practice the most. Because you guys are already like gonna be you guys are going to have like a tough time on mid. So to lessen that,
Cái gì?
your
Cái
rollout
gì?
needs to be consistently good, or at least
Hả?
be the normal rollout and not mess things up.
Đâu?
So we gotta
Đột kích
practice
á
those
hả?
rollouts.
Đột
So
kích hình như 209 hay là 10
again,
là
your
có
demo
hả?
acts as a pick class. Your soldiers your pocket soldier primarily will be your like demo man,
Bẫy lồn.
I guess, of your team. He will be like the demo man. He will be receiving
Ông mà nếu bây giờ á thì có. Còn
a lot of the
nếu trước
heals,
kia,
but he can still act as just like a normal
bảo vệ
soldier.
khác.
He would in like normal sixes, but it's just that his job has changed. He's like your main damage dealer now. Same with your other soldier, but you guys are just not as flexible as you can be because you just don't have a demo. So the guys that are gonna be holding choke, you guys have to work overtime, bro. Like the reason if they get through, the enemy team gets through is because of your soldiers. Like there's just no question. No question. Because you guys are basically the stickies, but you don't have stickies, so like what can you do? The only time I know you guys are going stickies are on last. But the 90%, the 90%, like the second fights, the mid fights, you don't have a sticky, so yeah, tough time. So for scouts, just stick with the med. You guys gotta also work overtime because again, those soldiers, man, they're just gonna bomb your ass because you're basically down one less player. They're just gonna be super aggressive, take height for free because again, no demo, super tough. So you guys gotta adapt fast, and you gotta take mid fast as well. The height control there is what you guys are trying to fight, that positioning. Because at first, I don't think you guys are really gonna get any picks in mid. Like truthfully speaking, like logically speaking, like I don't think you guys are gonna get like any immediate picks. So the soldiers and the scouts will just get free reign immediately. So if one soldier does a fast rollout, like that is so huge for him. Because nobody's just there to contest him aside from the scouts and the soldier. Because the soldier has to literally bomb him just so that he can push him away. And the scout has to get near the soldier, which is not really the best for scout because, the scout's on low ground, the soldier's on high ground. So, not really the best scenario. So, your compositioning is quite hard because you guys are very new and you're already picking a composition that requires you to think more. You basically have to think like one step ahead. all the time. But honestly, don't sweat it. Just have fun at the at the start. Just you guys just gotta play to have fun. At you know, it's okay to play to improve because I think that's also what you guys want to do. You guys also want to get better at the game. I'm pretty sure you guys want to do that. But
Má biết hình vô lẹ, biết hình tơ lẹ
at the
đấy.
beginning, you guys are gonna lose a lot, especially if you guys fight a little more competent teams. So don't get surprised if you guys get 5-0'd.
Này thì ngồi,
So watch out for that.
này thì ngồi hả?
So honestly, my only tips left is just for my soldiers, use
Tôi
the
canh
wall
lý
more,
do
bro,
bạn ơi.
when you guys are rocket jumping. Like, you do jumps like these instead of using the ground all the time. When you are using the ground, it needs to be low and fast. Because if you're doing this, I mean, you're kind of asking for an air shot or a quick deny. So if you guys try to do this, oh, you guys are gonna cook. So try to, be smart and fast. So for soldiers, my tip for you guys when you're trying to bomb something, if you guys can find cover, try to do it. Jiggle peek, boom. If you're trying to traverse, use the walls. Do high bombs, do proper high bombs. So, yeah. Honestly, that's pretty much it. I would need to see you guys actually play because I think your scrim or your mix, I don't know what you guys are gonna be doing. Do you guys do mixes or scrims? I think you guys do mixes only, right?
Mix, yeah, we do it mix.
Yeah. Mix. Yeah, I think I'll be playing with you guys in a mix one time. I don't know what I'll be playing. I'm fine with anything really. Up to you guys.
Today is on Thursday, so
Hmm?
Friday and Saturday are fine. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. We can also try to do on Friday if you want to play. I'm free there.
Okay.
If anyone's free there as well.
Yep.
But mostly I feel like I
Ở đó bác
more
lẻ rồi chứ bác sĩ gì cũng thủy
more
gì đâu.
confident, more need to more confident on this
Bác lẻ rồi.
this comms because as far as I know, I'm very weak when it comes to comms with my teammates. So I need to work on those more often.
Yeah. That's fine. As long as really guys, the
Má
thing you
chiều
gotta
gặp mấy
do,
ông cố nội
this is all I beg for you.
Thanh Lắc.
This is
Má
literally
chán qua
all
trước
I
đậu
beg
bắn
for you
kẹt
as a
kẹt
team.
kẹt 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 kẹt.
Experiment. Experiment.
Yeah, I see that.
Make mistakes. Don't be too passive
Yeah.
all the time. Make mistakes, but
Có.
the thing is,
Không
when
đâu.
you're making mistake, don't just make the mistake. Learn from
Tôi,
the mistake and
dạ
actually next time have a noticeable improvement
gì?
on that.
Dạ
Yeah.
vâng.
Because if you just keep making mistakes,
Vô
but
mẹ rồi.
you're not improving, what's the point? So, my biggest tip for you is you guys should just try to experiment what works and what does not. And yeah, just experiment, bro. Limit tests as a team. Try to overdo things so you guys can adjust accordingly. That is my best advice for you guys, not just as a team, but individually. That's how you improve fast. By experimenting.
Yeah.
By not being afraid to make mistakes.
Sometimes
So-
professionalism is always a thing to me. So yeah.
Yeah. So, it's okay to be not, to not know at the very start because obviously you guys are new.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about that. That is to be expected. all you guys just gotta keep in mind is that, okay, we should just, eventually we gotta like resolve this issue eventually. Like, if we have a problem, maybe like next match you guys are gonna talk to each other like, okay guys, let's try to focus on this thing only. Okay, let's try to focus on this, guys. Let's try to improve on this little thing. Okay, let's